So this will be about a 20-minute breathing practice, which we will start lying on our backs. So do make sure that you're warm enough. And if you can have bare feet, so to feel the floor through the soles of your feet, that would be great, but it doesn't matter if you need to wrap up. And just bringing yourself to a lying down position with your knees bent, soles of your feet on the floor. And take a little while to adjust your feet, see how close you want them in towards the body or how far away, probably about hip distance apart. Arms down by your sides. And taking a few moments to settle into the body. You might like to focus on the points of contact between your body and the surface beneath you, the soles of your feet, your lower back and sacrum, and back of your ribs, shoulders and the back of your head. So you can really drop through those points of contact and trust the surface beneath you. And bringing your attention to the natural breath right now. What does it feel like to breathe without trying to change anything, do anything? Can you feel the coolness of air coming inside your nostrils? Maybe you can feel the air moving to the back of your nose, into the sinus cavities. Maybe you can feel it moving down to the back of your throat and into your chest. And then all the way back out again. Taking a few more moments simply to feel the body breathing. Notice the sensations that breathing brings to the body. And it would be absolutely normal for your breath maybe to feel a little bit glitchy, a little bit jaggedy. You might notice that some breaths feel really smooth and whole, and others are a little obstructed. And all of this is fine. As we come into the next part of the breathing practice, being aware that our chest cavity, our breathing cavity, our lungs are three-dimensional. So that whenever you come into a certain breath that I'm going to lead you into, you're going to be aware that you're going to be breathing into the front, out to both the right and the left sides, and out through the back of your body. And the great thing about lying down is you can really feel the expansion and release through the back of the body in relation to the floor. So with that in mind, if you'd like to bring your hands and place them just over the lower ribs, so your fingertips will point in towards each other, probably in a space between your navel and your solar plexus, or around the area of the solar plexus. And just feel your hands resting here. And next time you breathe in, becoming aware of this space between your navel and the lower floating ribs where your hands are. And actually guiding your breath down into this region. So with no force, almost feel as if you're filling the bottom third of a balloon with water. You breathe into the front of this section. You breathe into the sides of this section. And you breathe into the back of this section. And all we're doing here is guiding the breath softly, gently into the lowest lobules of the lungs. Sometimes this is called abdominal breathing, and you might be invited to breathe lower down into the abdomen. But right now, concentrating on this band between your navel and your solar plexus. And as you continue to breathe here, notice, like I just noticed, if you're beginning to seize up in your shoulders and your throat, just with the focus of the breath, or maybe in your jaw or behind your eyes. And consciously soften in these areas as you continue this breathing down through into this section. And then continuing to breathe naturally and bringing the backs of your hands about halfway up the rib cage. So you're applying a little bit of pressure, not a lot, into the side of the ribs. And we're going to bring our focus to the area that of the second band, which basically runs from about the solar plexus right into the middle of the chest. So next time you breathe in, breathing into this central band, breathing into the front, and back out again. Breathing into the sides, and you'll feel your ribs maybe pressing into the hands. And out again. And breathing out through this central section of the back of the ribs. And continue breathing like this as if you were filling the midsection of a balloon with water, gradually inflating the balloon and then pouring the water out again with the exhalation. And again, noticing as you breathe into this middle section of the lungs, the middle lobules, notice if you start clinging on, if there are any areas of tension as you breathe, and inviting softness in there. This gentle pulse of the breath, a gentle wave of the breath moving in and out. Noticing as you breathe if your tongue is pressed into the top of your mouth, into the roof of your mouth, and if you can release it. And then bringing your fingertips and lightly resting them on your collarbones, if that's comfortable and you're able to just drop your upper arms down on the floor beside you. And we're coming to the final section of the lungs, which is much narrower than the other two. And it's located from the center of the chest. You could almost imagine a triangle coming up to the shoulders here. So as you come into the breath, just guiding it into this very top section, and it can almost feel as if you're just sipping it in. And letting it out. And remember, you're breathing into the front and out. And as you breathe into the side, maybe you feel into your armpits. And breathing into the back. And as you practice this for the first time, it may be that you can't really follow the instructions and you can't identify or isolate the areas I'm talking about, and it doesn't matter at all. It's really great to repeat this practice. And then releasing your hands, and you can rest them now wherever you like, down by the sides of your body, or that might feel nice just to rest them over your belly. And we're going to connect these three sections of the lungs in a full breath. So this is called a full yogic breath, or Mahat Pranayam. And please don't feel a strain or a need to strain. Imagine you're filling a whole balloon with water from the bottom to the top and then coming out again. You're going to be simply feeling softly into the edges of the envelope of your breath. Coming back a moment to the feeling of air in your nostrils. I really felt the experience of the breath, fully sensate and alert to the breath. Soft in the face, around the jaw and the tongue, soft in the throat and the shoulders. And then next time you breathe in, bringing the breath in all the way down to this bottom section, but allowing the same inhalation to begin to fill out the midsection, and then sipping the same inhalation all the way up to the top. And pausing with your balloon full of water, and then pouring the breath gradually from the top down all the way out. And pausing before you begin again. And remembering that as you breathe, you're breathing into the front of the body. You're breathing into the two sides, and you're breathing out through the back. So you feel this wave of the breath gently expanding in all directions, the whole of the chest cavity. And pausing before you feel that release, that pouring out of the breath, steady and slow. And I'm going to leave you for a few moments to just feel into, to experience this full yogic breathing. It's a really great way to come into a fuller, slower breath and to obviously bring much more oxygen into the body, much more oxygenation of your cells. Never straining, you don't want to burst your balloon. And taking 3 more full yogic breaths. When you've come to the end of your third exhalation, releasing all of that attention, sliding your feet away. So you're lying completely flat and extended. And returning to a natural breath and simply resting here for a final minute or so to simply notice how you feel. Noticing the quality of the breath, sensations in the body. Maybe your inner mental, emotional landscape. And obviously resting for as long as you like. Thank you very, very much for practicing with me.